Hey everybody, happy Friday. I'm meteorologist, 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi here at the 9 News Weather Center, and we're not going to call it a big cool down, but I'm sure it feels a lot better outside today than it did this time yesterday. We're talking about mid-80s as opposed to those mid to upper 90s that we dealt with midday yesterday. So it's a lot better, but we do have that chance for a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms that will rumble on through the rest of the weekend. Let's start things up by taking a look outside. You can see a few of those kind of high to mid-level clouds. Those will be with us probably for the remainder of the afternoon. If you do have some of those outdoor plans, maybe an outdoor happy hour, you're probably going to want an indoor alternative. I'll show you that here in just a second. But the big story, at least right now, it's this. It's those temperatures. They've dropped off by about 10 to maybe even 15 degrees, a much more comfortable day, though you might notice it's a bit muggier out there as well. It's kind of pumped up that moisture. That'll give us a chance for some of those stronger showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Meantime, there's a look at that 24-hour temperature differential. Again, we have seen those temperatures tumble on down a fair bit. We did have a weak front work its way on through earlier on this morning, and that has led to those temperatures to drop on off. That's also going to lead to those highs only, quote unquote, here in the upper 80s and low 90s for much of the eastern plains, though some of us in southeastern Colorado, where that front hasn't quite worked its way on through yet, we're still talking about those upper 90s and maybe even a few triple digits for some of us. So we're not out of the woods yet in terms of that excessive heat, but we do have a bigger cool down coming on up later on this weekend. Now, if we do get up to 90 or above in Denver, we'd make it our 12th day in 90 or above so far this year. And by the way, the last 13 days, we've seen 11 days 90 plus. So all those 90 or above days have come within the last 2 weeks, and there's a chance we do it again later on this afternoon. We'll be right around there, right around the 89, 90 mark. If I had to bet, honestly, we'll probably get to 90 in Denver, at least at DIA. Satellite radar for now, it's relatively quiet. You might notice a few of those showers and thunderstorms popping on up in the San Juans and southwestern Colorado, as well as on up through the Maroon Bells and also on up through the West Elk Mountains from Aspen along Highway 50 there from Gunnison on east, I should say, to Monarch Pass. Those storms will push their way east. As they do so, the northeastern quadrant of Colorado could see a stronger storm or two. Main threat with these storms, it's going to be damaging winds, though we can't rule out some larger hail. So something to watch out for, as I mentioned, between about 3 and 6 p.m. in and around the Denver area. In fact, if you're joining us from Denver, I would say probably lean towards the front end of that range. So I would say probably kind of between maybe 2:30 to about 4:30. Looks like the prime window for the Denver Front Range area for a storm. So again, you got that happy hour planned. Probably want to have an indoor alternative. We'll see some of those showers and storms rumble their way on through, and then, as tends to happen, those storms kind of peter on out and push east as we get later on through tonight. For our friends in the eastern plains, looks like it'll be closer to about 10, 11 o'clock tonight when we see those storms. Then we clear on out, and we'll do it all over again later on tomorrow. But one thing we'll also see with today's storms as well as tomorrow's is we're going to see what we call dry thunderstorms. What we mean by that is we see a whole lot in the way of lightning and gusty winds, but not a whole lot in the way of rainfall. So we've got these kind of high base storms where we see, again, more lightning and wind than anything else, but we don't end up with any rainfall. We, of course, would want it the other way around. We want the rain. We don't want the lightning. We don't want the wind. That lightning and wind can spark wildfires, especially with dangerously dry conditions across the western slope and through the San Juans. And as we get into tomorrow, again, we're expecting a high right around 90 degrees once again, so it's going to be pretty close to a carbon copy of what we've seen so far today. Maybe a tick cooler, and I would also probably bump up that chance for a shower storm just a tad for tomorrow as well, but upper 80s to low 90s, that will be the general rule of thumb. You get to the mountains, 60s and 70s, some pretty refreshing weather out there. Those storms will be around for us for tomorrow afternoon, popping on first in the western slope, and then those showers and storms will rumble their way on off towards the east. 7-day forecast looks like this. Look at that Monday, 73 degrees for us in the Mile High City. Boy, that is going to feel quite cool. And what's kind of striking about that, by the way, folks, is that summer, or the summer solstice, takes place at 9:32 p.m. coming up on Sunday night. So that means the first full day of summer is going to feel a whole lot like spring, while the final week of spring has felt a whole lot like summer. So consider that. Saturday and Sunday looking like we're going to see some of those showers and storms around. Both days I would probably put the greater chance for a shower storm for Saturday. So if you've got some of those outdoor plans and you're got a little flexibility, you might want to make it for Sunday, though we will still have a shower or storm around for Sunday afternoon as well. Monday we'll keep that chance, and then right back to your regularly scheduled heat and dry weather for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as a big ridge of high pressure works its way back in the picture. Remember, if you're joining us here on Facebook for this, you can type in those questions below and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. I got a hello from Cheryl. Appreciate that. And hopefully can get you a bit more context and details on some of those forecasts for you. But again, I would say the overall theme of things, we're going to bring those temperatures back closer to where we should be for this time of year. We're normally in the mid 80s for the middle part of June and getting kind of towards the back half of the month of June. Again, mid 80s, 84, 85 is the general rule of thumb. Emily is asking the chances for hail in the Black Hawk area. We are in Colorado, so there's always a chance for hail, but I would say that today's risk is going to be a bit on the lower side. It does look like we'll be seeing mainly gusty winds as our main threat. I was showing you this. In fact, give me 1 second and I can pull back up the radar for you and the forecast. And we do have some of those storms kind of working their way on through the region. These will be high base storms. What I mean by that is the cloud base for these storms, it's going to be higher than what you typically be looking at for a storm in Colorado, which means it's harder to get large hail from storms like these. So something to keep in mind is that I think that overall we'll be looking at a more of a damaging wind threat than anything else. So something to keep in mind. Do you think there's always a chance for hail here in Colorado, but that hail risk will be notably lower than what we've seen over the last few days? Susan says hello, watching from Dispar. Carlos says hi as well, and so certainly appreciate all those kind words and all those hellos from those of you watching. In the meantime, hopefully you have a great weekend. Stay safe. Keep in mind we get that daily chance for afternoon storms that'll rumble on through the weekend and into the beginning of next week as well. And hopefully you enjoy that weekend and stay cool out there. It's still on the hot side, though not quite as hot as what we've seen the last few days. That'll do it for now. I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi.